I'm glad Dave was here. I didn't have to talk about compliance today, although I'm always itching to talk about it. But, you know, we do have a good opportunity. We should protect it. You know, what I want to talk about today is, you know, really how do you identify what is a good opportunity? So who thinks Wake Up Now is the best opportunity? Okay? Why? Because somebody told you? Because you made a check? Can you articulate it? Have you seen every other opportunity? Like, these are the things that I think about. This is a big industry. You know, right now we are a small fish in a big pond. Now we're growing fast, but what I always want to try to teach people when I'm talking to someone is I want to articulate to them what makes us different. Why are we a good opportunity? How do we compare to other companies out there? And yes, I got a whiteboard because that's what I like to do, and I'm kind of old school. I love listening to Gerald talk, and you know, we're a lot of that in the same way. I've been doing networking now for 20 years. Actually, I guess 21 years. I've been full-time for 19 years. I've been doing this as a career. I had another job or something like that. I'm also a consultant. I had a company for about the last 10 years. So I help companies get started. I write compensation plans. And, you know, I've been able to be a part of Wake Up Now and watch them grow. And we do have something unique. But what I'm going to do is just real quickly break down this. And you ever been approached with someone and they talk about, man, we have the greatest compensation plan. We have the cure to death for our product. We have a skin cream that makes you go back in time, like, you know, or some aspect. We have a guy who started our company who is a trillionaire. I mean, a lot of times people like to hype one aspect of their company. And they think, well, that makes the company good. Do we pay the most? Do you think we do? Bet y'all think we do, but in truth we don't. But the companies that do things differently, what are they? Maybe they're not even legal. So you got to understand the whole wheel of what makes us a good company and how you evaluate a company. So I think of a network marketing company as a wheel. Okay, I think of it as different parts. And without any of those parts, what if, you know, you have spokes in a wheel and a spoke's broken, it's not going to go right. Our company is going because it has all the parts. At least that's the way that I perceive it. And I look at it like this. Company. Why is Wake Up Now a great company? And I mean the corporate. And if you know kind of the history and watch what happened when Jason and Kirby and these guys came in, I'd never seen anything like it before. You see, you could have the greatest product on the planet, and if your company goes out of business next week, well then what do you have? So first of all, you've just seen a part of it. Dave, this guy is brilliant. I've had the opportunity to talk to him, and it's been a little time. He's absolutely brilliant. But he's not the only one. In the office, you will see it, and the company is doing this. They're absolutely hiring the best of the best in every single position. The new head of IT, Steve. A lot of you will probably never even see this guy, but he's going to be bringing out stuff that'll absolutely blow your mind. You know, there's a lot of unsung heroes here at corporate you'll never even know. So from the customer service that they have now. So a company, really, what is the foundation? I always like to talk about the company first, because to me, this is kind of like the beginning of that wheel. And if you don't have a good foundation, you don't have anything. So when these guys came in, I remember they started vertically integrating the company. And what do I mean by that, vertically integrating the company? They started bringing everything in-house. So if you've seen or been involved in other network marketing companies, almost every one of these companies uses a lot of third-party things. Okay, they got a third-party back office. They got third-party people making their videos and stuff. Like, it's all done third-party. Why? Because it costs too much. It takes too much time. They don't have the resources, the patience, the funding, the whatever, in order to bring it in-house. At one point, and I don't know exactly what they spent, but it was millions upon millions upon millions upon millions laying the foundation. And I was even worried. I didn't know Kirby and these guys real right. And I remember I had a short conversation with Kirby, and I didn't know him real well at that point. And I said, you know, I just never really seen a company kind of doing it this way, like bringing all this stuff in-house in the beginning, really before the revenue came. And Kirby kind of looks at me and he says, kind of like, we built multi-billion-dollar, kind of like, Ryan, have you built a multi-billion-dollar company? But he didn't say that, but he's like, we built multi-billion-dollar companies. And if you want to do that, you have to have a foundation. He says, when the growth comes, and it comes, we'll be ready for it. And if he hadn't done that, if the company wasn't run that way, if they didn't have the foundation, I don't believe we could have survived this incredible growth that we have as a company. And they're continuing to lay the foundation. If you have a chance to go to corporate, see what they're doing. The call center is something that's amazing right now. To get to see this call center, and they got the times on. Their goal is to have every call answered at 60 seconds, and we got the VIP. And I mean, there's just so many aspects of this business. It's being built on a proper foundation. The very first thing I ask whenever someone is talking to me about a business, I'm like, tell me about how the company is structured. Who is getting your back office? All these different things. Fine, either most people don't know, or it's really built on a shaky foundation. It's built with a lot of hype, but really no substance to it. The compliance department is good. Maybe sometimes compliance is a little bit scary, but it's there to protect your opportunity. We are a regulated industry. So I'm talking about compliance. We're a regulated industry. People are watching us. Don't think that they're not. The bigger you get, what do you got on your back? A target. Telling you. So no, these guys are doing what they have to do, but we also have to do what we have to do. And they're built a strong foundation for us. As much growth as we can bring, they're going to be able to handle it because of that. So first is the company. Second is products. People love to talk about their products. And yes, we're a business that sells products, but it's one aspect of the company. It's a very important aspect of the company. But if your company goes out of business, don't matter what your product was. Okay? Not going to go through all of our products. People have done a great job of that. But I'm going to think of the philosophy of how our products are really working in terms of our business. When I was first hearing about Wake Up Now, and when we were, it was kind of being put together, there was this idea that what if we can have, and I think Logan had said it, products that you could be profitable even without bringing someone into the business. Products that had real value. The best way to look at the product is this a product that is going to have universal appeal, and is it a product that will have long-term value? Okay, people love to tease some of these old network marketing companies, but guess what? I hope to be one of those old network marketing companies 50 years from now that everybody's making fun of. Because those companies, some of them are doing billions, $10 billion plus dollars. There's two companies. Okay, Hollywood did like 12 billion, 13 billion US last year. Hollywood, US. And Hollywood's big, right? Would you not agree? There's two network marketing companies that do more sales than Hollywood does domestically. These are big, giant companies, but you know what they've done? They've developed products that people have found value with, and people are continuing those products. I feel that we've taken a different route with this. With our digital products, so they have value, absolutely. You can actually be profitable with our business with our digital products. On top of that, these consumable products, the deal streams, there's so many things that these guys have. I always have to be careful because I hear stuff in the office. I'm like, am I supposed to say this or not say this? And so I'll just err on the side of caution and not say stuff. But there's stuff that they're doing, they're bringing to the table that has more and more value. And so what we have is we have a universal product range. And I was talking to a gentleman today, actually, who's involved in another company, and talking about this product and this, and it does this, and it helped him with this, and half his team is this. And I said, that's great, but if I got to explain to someone what fucoidin is, I'm going to have a hard time, because I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to explain to somebody what it is. And maybe it's good, and maybe it's not. I don't know, but guess what? I could explain to someone what Disney World is. We went and we saved like $40 on our tickets. I mean, you don't have to explain what Starbucks is or what these different things are. So we have a net that I believe just catches more with our products, more of a universal appeal. Compensation. People love to talk about our compensation plan. I love to talk about our compensation plan, okay? It's near and dear to my heart, absolutely. Does our company pay out more than any other company out there? No. There's pyramid schemes that pay out 200%. Straight up. You put in $1, they give you $2 back. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. And a lot of people think that those are real legitimate companies. But if they would analyze product, they would analyze this, if they would analyze these other things I'm going to tell you over here, they would realize they're not going to be around very long. This is why you don't just look at one aspect of a company. This is why sometimes I'm sitting down with people, I'm like, you're in what? And man, look at how much we pay. Yeah, but we can be talking about your company next year. I promise you. Because it'll be gone. It had changed the name and done something else. There's pyramid schemes that are rampant running throughout the world right now. Now, as far as legitimate companies go, I believe we have the most unique, best compensation plan out there. And it's a lot for me to say that, knowing what I know in the industry, but we have a compensation plan that has a different thought process behind it. And I don't know if I'm not going to go too deep into this because I don't want to take up too much time, but most compensation plans, when I say most, I mean all, scale up. Which means that as you go up in rank, you get paid more money percentage-wise on your people over here. So if I'm at the top rank of another company, percentage-wise, I'm getting either more levels, more check match, more something, right? You know, more global bonuses, whatever, of everyone in my group. So actually the top rank in a company, the top person, actually makes more money per person, if you could do all the math, than anybody else. Do they really need that advantage? No, because what else is happening? At the same time, when you have a bigger business, it's going to move faster. If I have 10,000 people in my group, look, it's going to grow faster than someone that has 5 people in their group. No matter how hard the 2 of us work. So these compensation plans create this thing where you always hear, and people have been talking about this whole time, is why I brought it up, why there's just a few people that are making great money in these plans. And the best way to look at Wake Up Now would be to say that we kind of turn that upside down. So instead of us building like a pyramid, it's kind of like an upside down pyramid, because the majority of the money is earned by the masses. Does that make sense? So, but what happens in our plan is you get your biggest percentage of pay at the very beginning. And then as you go up in rank, you're making a smaller percentage on everyone in your group. But it grows faster, it's more stable, because you have more people that are earning money. And that's why Wake Up Now's compensation plan is great. It's not because we, quote unquote, pay more than other companies. It's where we pay and it's how we pay. So, compensation plan, timing. Do we have the best timing? Guess what? There's probably 10 companies started today. I mean, no one knows how many network marketing companies start. It's like there's a theory. I heard it theorized that there's about 2,000 new network marketing companies or high-powered affiliate program companies that start every single year. And there's about 2,000 that go out of business. They're starting them all the time. Most of them you never even hear about. They're here, they're gone, they're blips. I heard about companies that I hadn't even heard about. They're 10 or 15 years old. And I'm like, God, I didn't even heard of this company because it just stayed small. There's a lot of different businesses out there. Is it just because we are doing, a handful of millions a month? Does that mean that we're in the perfect timing? There's plenty of other companies. The gentleman I was talking to today, their company is about the same size as we are. But they're also 10 years old. Maybe they're going to go, maybe they're not. Is it better to get in a company? A lot of times you hear about timing, like you got to be the first one in. So when I look at timing, what I always want to think about is timing in relation to going into what is called momentum. And is your company actually going to momentum? That's, to me, when timing makes a difference. If the company never goes into momentum, timing doesn't make that much of a difference. So what is momentum? You always hear everybody talk about it, right? Momentum is this elusive thing, and I'm not saying I have the ultimate definition of it, but it's this elusive thing when a company just starts to grow and duplicate at an unimaginable point. And I've seen companies go from $5 to $80 million a month in sales. I've seen companies go from $7 to $70 million a month in sales in like 18 months. When you want to build your business is sometime before momentum or during momentum. Now, just because you get into something that's real early doesn't mean anything if you don't go to work. Timing only makes a difference if you actually do something and go to work. Okay? We are somewhere over here. We're not in momentum. We're somewhere over here. But this is a company that, in my opinion, is going to go into momentum. Does it mean this is a bad opportunity after? Absolutely not. It's a great opportunity. It'll always be. But it's never going to be as good as it is right now. So take advantage of the timing. We have phenomenal timing. It's also such a great timing because we have these other aspects. Timing is not the only thing that we have. And the last is leadership. And leadership, I think about as corporate leadership, and I also would think about a little bit as field leadership, because what happens is the top ranks in the companies have a lot of sway on the culture, that's what G said, of the companies. So culture is developed a lot of different ways. And when we talk about the leadership, and I won't go through the resumes of all these different people, and I've had the fortunate to be able to work with the leadership and to meet some of them and to know these gentlemen, to have trips on them, take trips with them and everything like that. Kirby said something on a trip, and I'm glad he's not here because I don't want to embarrass him, but he said something one time when he was talking, and man, it just stuck with me. He said, and he said it on stage, and that's the only reason why I repeat it. But he said, he travels on all these different trips and everything like that. And he was just kind of talking off the cuff, and I forget which country we were in. And he says, I made a commitment to my family and to my wife that when I'm not there, they'll never have cause to think that I did anything that would ever embarrass them, that I would ever do anything to shame them or do wrong. And it just was so profound, when he said that. And that's the kind of people that we have leading this company. We have leaders that have integrity, but not only do they have integrity, they have vision and they have experience. And they have experience in what I believe is important, which is running powerful companies, running big businesses. The field leadership, I've been very impressed with. Okay, when this thing started really taking off, of course I know Mike really well. And if you ask Mike, you know, how do you build a large organization, and Mike, like myself, we both build organizations over 100,000 distributors, it's about developing leadership. And so as the leadership started taking off in the business, it was a little bit like, especially all the internet stuff, we were kind of like, whoa, what's going on here, right? But what's really emerged is a group of phenomenal leaders that are really bringing a great culture to the business. And so you always want to ask, who's running the business? What experience do they have in making a company successful? I love when people approach me with no-marketing companies and they're like, this guy just started a company and he was the biggest networker on the planet and he made millions and millions of dollars. Great. Does that qualify him to run a multi-million-dollar international business? Of course not. We have people that are qualified to do that. Get to know who the leadership is in the business. Call Jason, get his cell phone, and I'm just joking. Jason was telling me about how many inbox things that he gets, and I feel for him. But he's done a lot. You know, I want to talk about Jason just for a second. I don't embarrass him, but most of the time in these companies, you have people that it's like two sides of the wall. You know what I'm saying? They got corporate, and then they got the leaders over here. And what they don't do is they don't really mix. And I've seen Jason literally, like the road warrior, go out and he feels the pain with us. When something's not working or something's not going there, they know. They got their hands on it. Why do they have the president of the company rolling around going all these things? You don't think he's busy? You don't think there's stuff that he can do over here in Utah? Believe me, there's a lot of stuff. There's a purpose to it. They want to know what's happening out here. They want to have their finger on the pulse. I've never seen a company that's doing it the same way as they're doing it over here at Wake Up Now. So talk about the leadership, who it is, who's running the business, and how they're doing it. And I'm going to leave y'all with one piece of training over here. And to me, this is the wheel of what makes us great. Understand why we're a good company. Don't just say, we're great because I'm making money. Like, know why it is, because other people are going to be making money too in other deals. Understand what it is that makes us a great company. 3 things. So over the years, I've tried to think of a simple way to explain why it is and what you do to be successful in network marketing. And I've come up with really 3 things. I call it the golden rules, okay? And it's real simple. Do the business correctly, consistently. I have a Louisiana public school education, so if I'm spelling it incorrect, sorry. Correctly, consistently, and long enough. So, doing the business correctly is the things that you've been hearing before. One of the things you don't do is compare yourself. And I don't know who was it that said not to compare yourself to other people. This is the killer, especially when people are ranking up. I remember in my company when I first started making a lot of money, we had a friend, and this guy was making $500 to $1,000 every single week. Now, we were making a lot more than that, and he started with us. He was so negative. He was so despondent. He got to a point, we were like, dude, you're making money, chill. But he was like, man, you guys are making so much more. What am I doing wrong? And all this stuff. He was comparing himself to us, and he quit, walked away from it, from that type of an income, okay? You have to know if you're doing this correctly, that's the best that you can do. Don't think about where you're not. Think about what you're doing on a daily basis. So understand the steps. I love Robin's 10 steps to success. Do the correct steps. The next, do it consistently. This is where people fail, right here. This is hard. This is not something I believe that we're taught to do. Like, it's not natural for us to be so consistent. If it was, every single person who picked up the guitar or tried a sport or tried to learn how to play an instrument would be phenomenal at it. No, they don't, because they're not consistent at doing it, and they give up because they don't get good enough. You have to consistently do this. So you're doing the correct actions on a consistent basis. And I think of myself as in robot mode. Okay, I'm not worrying about where I'm not. I think about what's happening every day. And if you do it for a long enough period of time, then you know, based on everything else, that you'll eventually get there. So we have a great opportunity here. It's just the beginning. This literally is just starting over here. There's so many other great things that are happening. And anyway, thanks for the time. That's all right.